G'day guys and welcome. My name is Michael and I am the Deadaussiegamer, here to share with you my tips, tricks, ideas and strategies for playing and running tabletop role-playing games. Now today we're going to be talking about a monster spotlight focusing on shapeshifters. Now, shapeshifter is kind of a broad term. We could be talking about werewolves, vampires, hell, even druids. But what we're going to be looking at today are specifically shapeshifters who have the ability to transform into almost any kind of humanoid creature hiding in plain sight. Today we're going to be discussing not only some of the abilities and tactics that you can use, but also some of the kind of narratives you can build from these creatures. So, without any further ado, let's talk about a few different types of these shapeshifters. The first one is probably the biggest staple, one that you'll find across all kinds of games, and that is the doppelganger. Now, doppelgangers are interesting because not only can they shapeshift into creatures, they also have a very unique ability that many people tend to forget. They have the ability to read minds. Now, in a campaign where we can often find ourselves lost with player characters getting into battles and epic duels with villains, there are some monsters who are really designed for subterfuge and subtlety, and none so more than the doppelganger. A lot of people think that, well, it's very easy to have our characters just suddenly rip off a mask, Scooby-Doo style, and reveal themselves as the doppelganger. But rather than doing that, you can find that doppelgangers can touch on a whole new level of manipulation. There are two different distinct paths a doppelganger can use their shapeshifting abilities to influence. The first is influencing the party. Using their ability to detect thought, the doppelganger is capable of finding allies and enemies of the PCs and using that information to shapeshift into something they can recognize. Whether it's trying to shapeshift into a villain and distract them away from the real threat, or shapeshifting into an ally to go by unnoticed. Both are very direct and very easy ways to add your doppelganger into the setting. However, the second and more uncommonly used way is when a doppelganger uses their detect thought ability to learn about an ally or villain and then go after the NPC instead of the PC. Having a doppelganger learn that the PCs are actually aware of the location of a victim that they're trying to hide from the evil queen could see that the doppelganger shapeshifts into one of the PCs, sneaks behind security, and kidnaps the girl for the wretched queen. Or you could even see the shapeshifter turn into one of the PCs, claiming that doppelgangers are in fact roaming around and getting the town guard to go after our player characters instead. These plots and many more are just the beginning of what you can achieve with a doppelganger. However, not all shapeshifters have the ability to read minds. Some are just very skilled at being able to shapeshift. And that still opens up a lot of avenues for you to explore when playing with these characters in your campaign. The first thing I want to point out is creatures like faceless stalkers, astrozoans, who generally only have the ability to shapeshift into humanoid creatures. The first and most easy way to use them is to hide in plain sight. The doppelganger happens to be something with a little bit more versatility because it can specify specific things to turn into. The astrozoan, for example, might find themselves on a space station where they simply walk into a crowd only to disappear among the masses. You can also find that an astrozoan makes their way onto a crew of a particular security detail, disguised as one of the guardsmen, walking simply among the crowd. Hiding in plain sight is one of the best techniques that you can use for these individuals. But once you've gotten them hidden, once you've put away this shape-shifting fiend, comes the biggest moment in your narrative for shapeshifters, the reveal. At the moment when your PCs find out that they have been bamboozled by this shape-shifting fiend. Now, I always recommend don't reveal shapeshifters willy-nilly. It is not a gloating thing that any of these guys do in order to suddenly rip off their mask and go, "Ha ha, it was me the whole time. Now bask in fear as I murder you." That doesn't really fall true. It's way more invested if your changeling, if your shapeshifter remains in the form that they have and continue to try and murder the PCs. Because once they get to that point, the PCs have a choice. Either they figure out that the shapeshifter is the shapeshifter, or they blame the wrong person for trying to kill them, which is equally as thrilling and exciting for your narrative as if you had pulled back the mask. When you want to reveal your shapeshifter, you want to make sure that you leave a breadcrumb trail for your PCs to find. Have something so that they can put together that something is off, or that some of the stories don't really add up. One of my favorites is when you ask the question from a shapeshifter and repeat the question to an NPC that the shapeshifter was pretending to be. Let me give you an example. The town guard has asked the PCs to go out on a patrol of the city. Upon that patrol, the guard has also given them several leaflets to be planting on several mailboxes as they traverse their route. Upon returning, the PCs tell the guard captain, we've done the route, we've done the circuit, and we've put all those papers out. The guard captain then turns and says, what route? I didn't send you anywhere. What are you even talking about? What papers? This breadcrumb trail starts a web of intrigue that begins to slowly unravel as they look and delve deeper into it. This is what you want to create with shapeshifters. This is what you want to try and build and do when wielding these kind of intricate subterfuge-based characters. Because while characters like dragons, beholders, and orcs are really good at direct, front-on assault type combat, these guys aren't really well built for it. You'll find that your PCs will very quickly overwhelm them if there isn't at least some hesitation or doubt lingering in the back of their mind while they're engaged with them. So play that up. Make it something that is difficult for them to really know what to do in a situation. That hesitation is what these shapeshifters will prey on and just latch onto in your game. Now, in addition to this particular method, another thing you could always look at doing is what I like to call the old switcheroo. Not many GMs like doing this, and if you don't, then by all means do not do this. Some doppelgangers shapeshift into PCs during a battle, and then suddenly the old switcheroo happens, and we don't know who's the PC, and we don't know who the doppelganger is. A common thing that we do is obviously go, well, of course, the player playing his character is obviously the PC, and the person that the GM is playing is obviously the doppelganger. So where is the mystery? Where is the intrigue? What I like to do is I like to tell my player that we're going to have two cards. So I pull out a deck of cards, one with a black joker, one with a red joker. I'll place both cards face down, and I will say that the black joker is the doppelganger, the red joker is the real person. I'll shuffle them up, let my player pick, and whatever they pick, that is who they are. They will play the character to the best of their abilities, as if they were, in fact, the PC in question, which could mean that they're attacking the doppelganger, or if they're the doppelganger, could mean they're attacking the PC. It goes back and forth, and how the players then interact with that scenario, with that character, becomes more realistic than if you were to simply say, well, this player is clearly on our side. So you may want to look at adopting something like that for you when a doppelganger tries the old switcheroo. Now, the other thing that that shapeshifters do like to do in combat is the old switcheroo. No, not sorry, I already did that. What was it called? Oh, I can't even remember. The hide in plain. Well, basically, it's like hiding in plain sight. The doppelganger will lure the PCs into a disadvantage by moving and manipulating them. This could be by having the fight move from being in a warehouse into a busy street. Suddenly a small urchin stabs them in the back. They then move away, and suddenly this old man whacks them over the top of their head with a cane. Engaging them on a wider scope, using the environment and the crowd to be able to lose sight and track of them so they can go in and out of stealth. Another fantastic way to build up a combat scenario with these shapeshifters. So these are just some of the ways that I would highly recommend playing shapeshifters, but that's not the only thing that you can do. As a GM, obviously, these are really useful tips, but what do we do when we try to play a character that is in fact a shapeshifter? The Changeling, for example, is an awesome type of character, and one that I would really love to play at some point. The thing that about people who can change their form is that it's more than just a physical shift. It's not just a mechanic about, oh yes, I just click a button and then all of my form changes into something else. It's about comfort. It's about identity. And these themes are what build on and expand those races. A changeling who has the ability to turn into any creature might actually find pride in remaining in their normal form as opposed to shapeshifting, because people expect humans to walk around town, or expect a dwarf, or expect an elf. How does that character feel about being treated like a monster? Like they don't belong in the streets because they are who they are, or because they have a lack of facial features, that they are somehow less important than the average citizen. Maybe your shapeshifter starts to lose pieces of their memory and identity the longer they remain in a different form. These are some of the plots that I love to explore when looking at identities. I've even had characters with split personalities, and every type of character they shapeshift into attaches a new personality. So it discouraged them from wanting to shapeshift into too many different things, because every new form bore a new personality. There are plenty of stories that one could explore with these shapeshifting wondrous characters, and I highly recommend, if you do, just look beyond the idea of you having a mechanical racial ability and look at what it means to be able to change who you are. Does that mean you ever truly understand who you are? Or does it ever mean that you will find happiness in who you become? These and many more are just some ideas that you can use for your own campaign. Thank you so much, guys, for listening. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button if you want to see more videos like this. We got a whole bunch of stuff, so definitely go check out our catalog of videos, because I love making these things for you guys. And if you want to see any particular monster or class or race spotlight being done, leave a comment below and let us know, because, you know, we always love hearing from you guys and making something for you guys to really sink your teeth into and enjoy. Go check us out on all our other social media, which will have the links in the description below. We got Facebook, we got Twitch, we've got Twitter, I think. And of course, if you want to help support the Dead Aussie Gamer, head on over to our Patreon page at patreon.com/DeadAussieGamer. For as little as a couple of bucks a month, you can really make all the difference in helping our channel keep on chugging on and keep growing. Till next time, guys, as always, game hard or die trying. See yas!